Hi, welcome to the channel of Dream Domain. I am Ming Ming.
In the remote and untraceable primordial era, the heaven and the earth had not yet been separated. The whole world was in a state of chaos, just like an enormous and boundless egg. Inside it was pitch dark and deep, with no distinction between up and down, left and right, nor were there the sun, the moon, stars, mountains, or rivers. Everything was in the most primitive and chaotic state. It was within this chaos that a great deity, Pangu, was gestating. He had been sleeping in the chaos for countless years, slowly accumulating strength and waiting for the right moment to embark on a feat that would change the world. Finally, Pangu woke up. He opened his eyes and looked around, only to see endless darkness and chaos enveloping him. A strong desire surged in his heart, a longing to break this suffocating confinement and let light and order come to the world. So, he stretched his gigantic body, reached out and touched the boundary of the chaos, and then pushed hard with his feet, thus beginning the arduous journey of creating the heaven and the earth. Pangu propped up with his hands above and pushed with his feet below, exerting all his strength to separate the chaotic heaven and earth. Every time he exerted force, there was a dull sound, as if the whole chaos was trembling because of it. Day after day, year after year, Pangu kept working tirelessly. His body grew taller and his strength became stronger. Finally, a crack appeared in the chaos that had tightly wrapped him before, and some light shone through. Seeing the hope, Pangu struggled and pushed even harder. Gradually, the crack grew larger and the chaos was slowly separated. The light and pure substances rose and became the heaven, while the heavy and turbid ones sank and turned into the earth. The distance between the heaven and the earth kept increasing under Pangu's efforts, but he didn't dare to slacken at all, for he was afraid that once he relaxed, the heaven and the earth would close again and return to the chaotic state. In this way, Pangu stood between the heaven and the earth, supporting them with his body. As time passed, his body became incredibly huge, yet he always held on, using his own strength to maintain the separation of the heaven and the earth. However, even though Pangu was a deity with infinite divine power, the long period of support gradually drained his strength. Eventually, Pangu reached the end of his life. But his dedication didn't stop there. Instead, it continued in an even more miraculous and shocking way. As the folk legend during the Qin and Han dynasties goes, after Pangu fell down, his body began to change in a wonderful way. His majestic head slowly dropped towards the east, and where it landed, a magnificent and imposing mountain instantly rose up. This was Mount Tai, the eastern Great Mountain. Mount Tai towered into the clouds, and its peak was often shrouded in mist, as if Pangu's deep eyes were still gazing at the world. It carried a profound history and culture and became a sacred place in people's hearts. Emperors of past dynasties had come here to perform the Fengshan sacrifices, praying for national prosperity and the eternal stability of the mountains and rivers. Every inch of the mountain rocks seemed to be branded with Pangu's perseverance and strength. It was like a silent guardian, witnessing the changes of the years and protecting the east of the Chinese land. Pangu's abdomen turned into Mount Song, the central Great Mountain. Mount Song was located in the core area of the Central Plains. The mountain ranges stretched continuously with unique landscapes. Here, the cultural essences of Buddhism, Taoism and Confucianism converged. Temples and Taoist abbeys stood in great numbers, with incense smoke curling up, and the sounds of chanting scriptures and bells echoing through the valleys. That profound cultural heritage was just like Pangu's broad mind, embracing all the phenomena in the world, containing endless wisdom and mystery, and becoming an indispensable and important symbol in the inheritance of Chinese civilization. His left arm stretched towards the south and transformed into the graceful and charming Mount Heng, the southern Great Mountain. Mount Heng had different beautiful sceneries in the 4 seasons. In spring, it was covered with blooming flowers like a sea of blossoms. In summer, shaded by green trees. In autumn, with red leaves like a raging fire. And in winter, dressed in silvery white snow. The clouds and mists often lingered among the mountains, as if draping a thin veil over Mount Hang, making it look even more ethereal and gentle. Just like Pangu's powerful yet agile arm, Mount Hang attracted numerous literati and poets to visit with its unique charm, leaving behind many poems and odes praising it, and also carrying people's longing for a beautiful life. Pangu's right arm fell towards the north and became Mount Hingshan, the northern Great Mountain. Mount Hingshan had precipitous mountain slopes, with numerous cliffs. The winding mountain paths were like giant dragons coiling around the mountains, demonstrating a kind of tough and resolute beauty. The ancient pine trees on the mountain were vigorous and upright, still standing proudly in the biting cold wind, just like the unyielding strength contained in Pangu's arm, leaving a deep mark in the long river of time. Mount Hingshan had been a strategic military location since ancient times. It witnessed countless battles and flames of war, yet it always remained steadfast in guarding the northern land, just as Pangu's determination to protect the heaven and the earth had never changed. Finally, Pangu's feet took root firmly in the west and turned into Mount Hua, the western Great Mountain. Mount Hua was famous for its precipitousness in the world. Its steep peaks and narrow plank roads made people feel both daunted and eager to challenge it. Climbing Mount Hua was like challenging the limit of the strength left by Pangu. Every step required courage and perseverance. The precipitousness of Mount Hua seemed to be Pangu's solid foothold, showing the heroic and imposing manner of standing upright between the heaven and the earth to the world, and it also became a place where countless brave people pursued self-breakthrough. Moreover, as the ancient scholars said, when Pangu's life came to an end, his tears gushed out. Those tears full of deep affection for all things in the heaven and the earth converged into the flowing rivers that never ceased. The yellow river was like a giant dragon, carrying silt and roaring across the central plains, giving birth to the ancient and splendid Chinese civilization. The Yangtze River was vast and mighty, nourishing the beautiful landscapes in the south of the Yangtze River and bringing endless vitality and prosperity to this land. Countless tributaries and brooks were like the veins of the earth, crisscrossing each other, irrigating the fields and enabling all things in the world to thrive. Pangu's exhaled breath turned into gentle breezes or howling winds. When the spring breeze blew, it awakened the sleeping earth and blew open the flowers all over the mountains and plains, bringing vitality. The summer wind was slightly warm, gently blowing on people's faces and filling the world with a lazy and cozy atmosphere. And the fierce winds in autumn and winter were like Pangu's final roar, blowing off the leaves and raising the snowflakes, demonstrating the majesty and power of nature and making all things feel the cycle of life in the changing of the four seasons. His voice was transformed into deafening thunder. Whenever there was a thunderstorm, the rumbling thunder would boom in the sky covered with dark clouds, as if Pangu was announcing to the world that although he had left, his spirit would live on forever. The thunder shocked the earth, making all things in the world feel in awe of it. It also reminded people of the difficulty in the birth of this world and inspired them to cherish this hard-won world. Pangu's pupils were like brilliant lightning, instantly cutting through the dark night sky. The dazzling light illuminated the whole world, making everything hidden in the darkness nowhere to hide. The appearance of lightning always carried a mysterious and shocking power, as if Pangu's discerning eyes were always watching everything in the heaven and the earth, guarding this magical world created by him.
That's all for today's story, and finally welcome everyone to subscribe to my channel.